Yeah, so all right, there's three updates. I'm going to start out with Patch Watch, and it's all about master modes, which I don't know, kind of surprising to me. They start out with insights from our feedback. So the master modes test, I only tested in 320, and I had such a bad time that I think I was just overwhelmed with how different it was, and I had just been learning. Like I had just been training in the previous flight model that this was so different that I just didn't want to go through learning again. And I still, in a lot of ways, feel that way. That the learning that I did was actually so difficult that part of me doesn't want to do it again. And I really hope this is the last major change we get. I think certainly for a while it looks like it will be. But for 320 and 321, they got some feedback from us. Following the initial changes, combat is closer and feels more engaging. It was definitely closer. Yep. Removing the rule that weapon size must be reduced by 1 if the weapon was attached to a gimbal and have no negative impact on balancing. There's no clear advantage in input methods over each other. Tricording limiting in general works, but is too restrictive outside of mouse and keyboard input devices. Yeah, people hated that, I remember. I think that was the biggest contention that I heard people have, at least people in my circles had with it. In a 1v1, players sometimes feel locked in with no other options than DPS racing. Yes, which is, I think, has always been the problem with the game since this team was put together and made some pretty sweeping changes. Is the game has felt like a DPS race. I remember when I was training, I was taught how to fly first, and then after I was like somewhat understanding that but struggling with it a little, the person that I was I would started training with a group of people, and one of them just said, "Just aim." Just hit your shots. Just focus on aiming. You're focusing on all this other stuff. And I started beating Arena Commander regulars at that point. I was like, okay. Yeah. Like once I focused on aiming and just worried about DPS racing, I started winning fights. And I was like, okay, nice. But I don't know now, so we'll see. Noodle always said my aim was good. Based on the date we receive from your play sessions, we've adjusted the playtest for Alpha 322, and we've updated a few IFCS features, flight model tuning, and weapon properties. I imagine these changes have been in the patch for a little while, but I think they're just expressing them now. Furthermore, we will not only focus on dogfighters and light fighters with the Gladius as a testbed in the public tests, but also collect and analyze much more data from your battles with different ship types. Vanguard is in, which is a heavy fighter. Super Hornet, which is a medium fighter. But the Super Hornet doesn't have that really bad change, or like, I don't know if it's bad, but that really crazy change with the Hornet where it was like super powerful flying. And then the Buccaneer is now considered an interceptor. That's interesting. And even though it's like basically a Hornet, right? And then therefore have undergone balance adjustments and will be the focus of testing. Okay. So to improve the 1v1 mechanics, we've added a few things to IFCS to support my more diverse flight behaviors and be less prone to cheating and macroing. When a ship is controlled with digital inputs like a keyboard, the actual movement is now simulated. That means a simulated stick or throttle cannot move from 0 to 1 in one frame. It smooths out general movement and helps with pip wiggling. Okay? IFCS boost ramping. Boost can now be ramped up and down. For example, it is not immediately active at full strength, which smooths out general movement and reduces pip wiggling, and ramp up and down times can be balanced independently for each ship. I didn't know pip wiggling was still a thing. I thought that died a long time ago, where people like literally were like moving their mouse like all over the place like crazy. I had no idea. Red Imp, thank you for your prime. I appreciate it. Boost ramping we did. Boost direction modifiers. Boost modifiers can now be applied per boost direction, not per axis. Means we have a lot more control over individual performance parameters. For example, we can disallow boosting backwards. That's awesome, because that is, I know, a huge problem in the game. But you can enable boosting retro thrusters to slow down. So, apparently with the lower speeds it became a thing again. Okay, that's cool. Boosted rotation rates. While boost is held, ships are now able to momentarily reach higher rotation rates. The boost ramping helps smooth out that process. New tricording limiter. Okay, the old tricording limiter was too harsh when your ship was not perfectly accelerating along an axis, which easily happens with stick inputs. The new limiter only cuts accelerations back when you hit the side limits, specifically for racers. That should feel better than in previous Master Modes tests. All right. That's cool. Master Mode testing in 320 and 321 was about symmetric combat. Not sure what that is. So now we're turning to ship differences. All right. So the Gladius Light Fighter is agile, but can take a lot of beating. The F7CM, the Super Hornet, is a medium fighter. It's sturdy and impressive agility for the weapon load. Okay, so the Hornet still is more agile than I think it was ever intended to be, but I think that they just, like, it happened by accident and they liked it, apparently, is what I heard. Buccaneer, medium interceptor. It can't turn well, but speeds forward like no other. All right, and the Vanguard Heavy Fighter, not the fastest or most agile, but has a higher damage output than the others. Weapon changes. Ranges of weapons have all been vastly increased. This is Squadron 42 stuff. Remember the demo where he showed the spread? It's vastly increased, and spread was added to all of them. You can now hit targets from multiple kilometers away. To allow breaking up fire patterns, Gatling guns will heat up so they cannot fire forever. Arena Commander. The 4 different dedicated Master Mode. There are 4 different dedicated Master Mode experimental modes. That is a lot of M's. They exist in addition to the normal AC modes. So now we have Master Mode Squadron, Race, Endless Vandal Swarm, and Free Flight. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good news. This is going to be sick. This is the Wayne. And then somewhere DJ responded, I don't know where, but I could just do this. Master Mode's Squadron Battle is now enabled in the 322 PTU. So that's pretty cool. And then the last Arena Commander update, these are all Arena Commander updates, is from Jake. They're giving away 100 vehicles. Are they different vehicles, or are they just the X1? It sounds like they're just the X1. At schedule's time listed below, if you jump into the designated game mode, the community will play 3 matches in each time slot. Oh, God. So everyone's just going to be, like, fighting to get into these. Yeah. Enjoy your X1s, guys. I will not be taking any part in this, or at least I will not be trying. If I magically get into a game that I just was playing Gun Rush when I'm feeling like it, that'll be it. But there's a schedule below. You got to hit the top 3 in the games that these guys are in. I guess they'll screenshot who won the games and then give you an X1, which is kind of cool. And it's the Force X1. I don't know if all the X1s are coming in, by the way. And then these are the timestamps if you guys need them for time converters. And yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Gun Rush and Luminalia Team Elimination are going to be the go-tos. Now, do they say PTU? They don't. I think we have a date for live. And it's December 15th. Yeah. They got 2 days to get the patch right, I think. And I think most things are good. They are what they are. Oh my god, I loved how the patch watch thread immediately turns into a PvP Flamefest as usual. I literally saw it. I scrolled and I saw Virgil's name and I saw ganking in the sentence. That's all I saw. But yeah, this is cool. This is a cool little event that they're doing. I know it'll be really hard to get in. And I already have an X1, so it would be ridiculous. And obviously, I will come in the top 3. Just kidding. I will get owned. But yeah, so there's contest rules and pretty cool. So you'll receive a code and you can put it at redeem. That reminds me, I need to redeem my not my Banu Cube. I haven't redeemed my Banu Cube yet. So anyway, guys, that's all the Arena Commander changes that just happened, plus what looks to be a release date for 322 to live. So here we go. Here we go. Is the first one 1 a.m. on the 15th? That's what it looks like. Because Jake's playing on Aussie servers, yeah. So he's going to be up at 1 a.m., I guess. Yikes. Interesting, though. It is.